I was shopping at a grocery store a couple of weeks ago, and there was a fellow who was stocking some of the refrigeration units, not the shelves, the actual refrigerated units. And he had a number of boxes piled up, and I couldn't get to the eggnog. And he said he could move the boxes for me or get whatever I needed. And I said, I think I can reach. And I reached out, my arm got around the handle of the door, and I pulled it out on my own and said, "This time of year, I really like the taste of this stuff." And he looked at me, and in a manner of a guy who's not really familiar with marketing, he said, "Better you than me." And that seems to be the view of eggnog. There's no in between. People either love the stuff or they despise it. And I've heard people say, "You might as well be drinking snot." I don't know. I don't necessarily taste a lot of that, so I can't make a comparison. To me, it tastes like a milkshake. And when I sit down and I have a sip of it, and now you get blended flavors. You can get cinnamon, you can get a pumpkin flavor. There's even one that is made and it's produced by one of these companies. Let me just alter my microphone here just a moment. But it's produced by one of these companies that creates all of the soy milk and the almond milk. I've actually tried that. And well, let's just say it's a little bit like drinking chalk. It's got a sweet taste, but it's like drinking chalk. So I went to the store the other day and I decided to pick up the pumpkin flavored eggnog. This is the Kroger brand, as you can see, which is one of the biggest chains in America. Even many of your neighborhood grocery stores may be part of Kroger, despite having a different name. Here in town, we've got a Smith's and a Fred Meyer. They're both Kroger stores. And if you're in the Deep South and you go to a Harris Teeter, that's a Kroger store as well. So I picked this up and I mentioned it to a friend yesterday that I had decided to buy this so I could taste the pumpkin flavor. And she said, "Well, is it pumpkin spice or real pumpkins?" She said, "The only real eggnog you make is what you make at home on your own. This stuff from the store," she said, "I won't drink it." So now you've got people who A, love eggnog and hate eggnog. And then you've got a second group that likes eggnog, but they only want to have the stuff that they make on their own at home. Who's got the time to do that? But she does raise an interesting question. I read the label on this. This is the ingredients: homogenized milk and cream, high fructose corn syrup. That's not necessarily the best thing you can put into your body, but because we have such huge corn supplies in this country, corn syrup has replaced sugars in most of what we eat over the last 40 years. We also have sugar, some sugar, I suppose, egg base. Is explained as egg yolk, sugar, guar gum, something called carrageenan. Am I even pronouncing any of these in the right way? And then it says it's got salt, artificial flavor, salt, spices, which again, a point she brought up, is it real pumpkin or just a pumpkin spice? Natural and artificial flavor, and something called, it looks like annatto, Annatto, must be Japanese, annatto for color. And then it says it contains milk and eggs. Distributed by Kroger in Cincinnati, Ohio. Does not give an address, just a zip code. I guess they don't want you writing and asking any more questions about it. But truly, it comes down to, what does it taste like? And so what I have done is I have decided to pour myself a wee bit. Some people would say that's a little too much, but you want to make sure you get a good taste, like a big gulp of it right away. And get it all over your mustache, which is why you got to do that if you've got a long mustache. Roll your lips a couple of times. So I gave that a taste, and you know what? It tastes like eggnog, and it has a slight pumpkin blush to it. Is that a good way to put that? A slight pumpkin blush to it, and you can get some of that spice in there too. But otherwise, it's a little it's not very thick. And as I recall, the eggnog that we drank when I was a kid had a much almost creamier type of consistency to it. And I guess that's what I miss the most. And when my friend says that you've got to make it at home, maybe she's right on that count, because then if you have the recipe that's been in the family a long, long time, you can get it right. I guess what we'll do next week is we'll try glazed beets, or maybe not. When I was a kid growing up at holidays, someone was always putting glazed beets down in front of you. I can eat them now, and I can eat beets of all kind now, but when I was a kid, oh, and I remember one time someone put squash down in front of me when I was a little boy. And on our plates at Thanksgiving dinner, there was a picture of a coachman, and he had a whip and that was to drive the horses with. And when I wouldn't eat the squash, my Uncle Larry said, "See that whip?" He said, "I got one of those out on the trunk. You better eat that." And I did. And the odd thing is today I've actually come to really appreciate squash too. I didn't really after being forced to eat it with the threat of a whipping, but over time you develop a taste for some of these things. If you like our videos, click on the subscribe button above, and you can leave any comments in the comment section below. My name is Bill Colley, and you'll sometimes also see my friend Jake Smith for Boardwalk Potatoes.